I'm waiting for the hand to go up. See, Lorraine gives me a special signal. It's the bat signal. This is the beautiful, glorious, sunshiny day the Lord hath given. Let us raise our voices and rejoice. Sunday morning, and here we are, coming together from near and far. We're unity, home for you and for me. I've got family waiting for me. Every Sunday I'm glad to see. We're unity, home for you and for me. My, we're so happy it's Sunday. This is our very own Unity Day. We're here where we belong with all of our family. We're unity, a home for you and for me. The sun is shining and I am too. I feel so happy, how about you? We're unity, home for you and for me. We're so grateful that love abounds with the brothers and sisters all around. We're unity, home for you and for me. My, we're so happy it's Sunday. This is our very own Unity Day. We're here where we belong with all of our family. We're unity, I hope for you and for me. We're unity, I hope for you and for me, and for all of us.
She's all alone back there. Little wonder. Oh, my. Welcome to Unity of London. We've got a candle in the front there. It's the Christ candle, and it represents the light that we share with the world. We welcome our dear Kate Shield to light our Christ candle. Thank you, Kate. The power for June is light blue for imagination. Here at Unity of London, we welcome first-timers, returning guests, long-time members, and all of our friends on Zoom. We celebrate the spirit of abundance, love, and life in our community. As we grow together, we learn the joys of giving as well as receiving. We celebrate that abundance, openness to new ideas, mutual support, connection and transformation, evolving peace. Please join with me in affirming the 5 principles out loud. Number 1, God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. Number 2, I am naturally good because God's divinity is within me and in everyone. Number 3, I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. Number 4, through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. Number 5, I do my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference. How do I make a difference? When I practice being the change. By sharing that smile or kind word for someone, paying attention to someone who looks lonely or sad, volunteering my time to help out. I am, by doing these things, inspiring people to make a positive change in this world. Let's all be the change. We coexist. Everyone is welcome here at Unity of London. It doesn't matter what your background is or isn't. We coexist by providing fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life. Well, I've got a real pleasure. We always knew that Jim Chapman was a rascal. Well, he's actually part of a group called the Rascals, the Rhythm Rascals, and he's going to be joined on the podium here, or on the stage, with the rest of his Rascals, with Rodney Perkins, Stan Smith, and Lyle Kernahan.
Oh, please don't do that. You haven't heard them yet. Putting the bar pretty high. I think we were working on a couple of tunes for today. I just have a couple of quick things and then we'll play. And I think that we should change the name when we play here. We should change, if we ever get invited back, maybe to the Revival Rascals, because we're going to play some rockin' tunes for you today. Also, the comment was made that all three of these gentlemen perform fairly regularly at our Wednesday night concerts. And with the observation was made that there's no tip jar today, so which we have, but there isn't, and that's just fine. The song we're going to do for you now was written by a fellow young man named Micah Tyler. And Micah is one of there's a whole new generation of inspirational songwriters. And some of the stuff, some of them go fairly far into the kind of Baptist revival thing, but he's kind of in the middle. And I heard this song and I thought, it's just lovely. It's just perfect. Well, this song's called Perfectly. It is perfect because it talks about our relationship with Spirit and how one of the lines is, I give you failures and you give me grace. And isn't that really what that's all about? So anyway, this is Micah Tyler, and take it away, boys. 1, 2. You have no level? You should have. Did you turn it up? Right again? Oh, for goodness sake. Did it pull out at your end? Switch your thing back on. All right. Are you good now? You got enough level? No. There you go. That's good. All right. 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2, 3. I would be perfect if it wasn't for the little ways I fall short every day of my life. I would be perfect if it wasn't for the million things that I never can seem to get right. I've got this peace inside. I know that every time I give you failures and you give me grace, all of my troubles fix you away. Somehow you love somebody like me. Don't know how you do it, but you do it perfectly. You do it perfectly. Oh God, you're perfect. And you're never gonna break a promise. You're faithful beginning to end. I don't deserve it, 'cause I got nothing I can offer you, but you took me in and called me your friend. I give you failures and you give me grace. All of my problems don't push you away. Somehow you love somebody like me. Don't know how you do it, but you do it perfectly. Perfectly known, perfectly made. Because of the cross I am perfectly saved. give you failures and you give me grace. All of my problems don't push you away. Somehow you love somebody like me. Don't know how you do it, but you do it perfectly. Perfectly. Oh, I give you failures and you give me grace. All of my problems don't push you away. Somehow you love somebody like me. Don't know how you do it, but you do it perfectly. 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 The Rascals, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Certainly, of course.
Notice I'm sitting here and they don't want to be anywhere near.
When I heard that the Rascals were going to be here today, I was thinking, back in the olden days, I remember watching the Little Rascals. But boy, they didn't sing. No, these guys are incredible. Thank you so much. Okay. We've got our prayer chest up here at the front. And any of you who've been here before, or anybody new, might know that there's little slips of paper on the back of your chairs and the little cloth hangers there, and you can put a name of anybody who you would like prayer for. Just a first name only, because Spirit knows the concerns. And just slip it in the prayer box, and our prayer chaplains will pray over those names, those individuals, or groups of people, and then it'll be passed on. Those prayer requests will be passed on to Silent Unity. I always wondered when I first joined Unity, why is it called Silent Unity? But it's the headquarters of Unity, and they've got prayer chaplains there that will pray over those names for 30 days. I'd like to call up to the front our prayer chaplains. We've got Lindsay, we've got Kate is here, Pauline is here. I don't see any of our others, but if there is one I've missed, please come on up. Oh, there's Lorraine, of course, Lorraine. We'll just circle the prayer box here. Divine Spirit, thank you. Thank you for all of these individuals who are here. We pray, Lord, for all these individuals or groups whose names are in this prayer box. We know, Lord, that you love and care for every one of them. You know their needs, and you are fulfilling their needs even now. Thank you, Lord. Amen. We have every week, we'll let Lorraine get back to her spot so she can change the slide. Every week we have a prayer chaplain on duty here at 501 Nelson Street, and Lindsay is our prayer chaplain today, and she'll be, in the fellowship or in the area. Just tap her on the shoulder. She'd be more than happy to pray with you. And for any of you folks online, Wilda is online, and just put a message in the chat box that you'd like to have prayer with Wilda, and she'd be thrilled to pray with you there too. I invite each of you here to relax in your chair, close your eyes or dim your gaze if you feel comfortable doing so. Let us release all our negative thoughts as we connect with the Divine Spirit within. Spirit, we send blessings to each one gathered here at 501 Nelson Street, for our friends online. with us now and for those who will be viewing our service later on YouTube. We pray for all in our Unity of London community. We utilize the power of imagination, focusing on the things that are positive for us and for all those in the world. Let each of us whisper to ourselves the names of those who we hold in our hearts for whom we'd like prayer. Spirit, we pray for each one whose names had been found in our prayer box during the whole month of June. We hold peace in our hearts and love in our hearts, and affirm peace and love is circulating throughout this world. This month, we also hold in love and blessings, Unity of Winnipeg and Silent Unity. Divine Source, we affirm the right and perfect outcomes for all those for whom we pray, and so it is. Amen. I'd like to call forward our assistant, our platform assistant, George, who's going to read our daily word and introduce today's speaker.
Morning. It's certainly a pleasure to be able to read the daily word, especially when you get one like today. The word for today is connection. I share a connection to all living things. I share a connection with the human family, the world's creatures, and the universe itself. I am reminded of the words of astronomer Carl Sagan, who wrote, "The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself." I affirm this cosmic connection and more. I feel I am part of everything and connected with everyone through the indwelling presence that unites us in God. When the world feels lonely, and I'm struggling to find my place in it, I remember this cosmic connection, and that, despite our surface differences, we have much in common. I value my connection with others and seek to make new ones. I treasure these relationships and celebrate our oneness in God. And from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11, therefore, encourage one another and build each other, as indeed you are doing. I'd like to introduce Wendy Karr. Wendy joined Unity in 1984 and received her licensed Unity teacher status in 2000. Wendy's been a facilitator of Unity courses for over 20 years and has been honored to be made adjunct faculty at Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute. In 2024, she began hosting the online spirit group, What's Good About the Good Book, a safe space to explore Unity's take on the Bible. Wendy is honored to be with Unity of London today, and I guess I didn't get the title of your... So it's a mystery. So please join me in welcoming Wendy.
Am I on? I am on. Oh, it's so wonderful to see the London peeps. I feel so. I am just flying up here. A live band? Are you kidding me? Mostly. As I've said before, it's worth the drive to London. If you know, you know. Anyway, Before I get into my actual talk, I just want to wish everyone who observes a happy Pride. I know we celebrate all year long, but I like to honor and appreciate. And I think of how blessed I am growing up in my family of origin was perfectly fine with that whole existence. My church of origin, not so much. But I was blessed to be raised in a family of allies, which has made it really easy in a way. When one of my childhood friends called me up and said, I don't know how you're going to feel about this. Lay it on me, what's up? Well, our oldest son is going to transition, and our younger son is now they non-binary. And I said, cool, what are their new names? And that is one of the things about unity. And just little rabbit hole, just a tiny one, I promise. When people say, well, how come there isn't much in the writings, in the early writings of unity? It's because back then it was a crime. And I sometimes wonder if people remember how recently it was a crime to fully express yourself if you did not come out as heterosexual. And I just want to honor all those who have gone before and all those who suffered through silence and shame and possibly some guilt. I don't know. I haven't walked that path. Okay, out of the rabbit hole. But happy Pride. So, George, we both forgot. So the talk is Imagining Freedom, and I was thinking of a talk title because Canada Day falls on a Wednesday. I used to hate that when I worked for the government because I'd work Monday, Tuesday, I'd get Wednesday off, and then I'd come back and work Thursday, Friday. And I was usually the designated one that had to come in, so there was no choice. But with it being Imagination in the month of June, and some of you might be going, what are you talking about, Wendy? One of our co-founder Charles's ideas was to break up spiritual teachings into smaller bites. And so he broke these up into 12, kind of handy. 12 appears all through the Bible anyway, but we do one a month, and you learn a spiritual principle each month, and by the end of the month, you're a little bit ahead of where you were when you started the year. And I say little not because I'm trying to say that you're not smart or able, but there's just so much. As someone once said to me, the knowledge of the universe could be contained in a box that's infinity by infinity by infinity. And we don't even get a millimeter by a millimeter of that, of our knowledge. So I'm not trying to diss you, I'm just saying. So we call them, originally they were called powers, but then you get down a couple and it's the power of power, and that is just a whatever. Some folks call them faculties, attributes, divine gifts. My personal favorite is innate abilities. That it is something that is active within me, kind of like kinetic energy, that I can tap into. So I want to talk about imagination because I think I'm feeling right now, I am trying so hard to find a balance between not watching news or doom scrolling and not going into shock when I hear what's actually going on because I've been out of the loop and it's just like, are you kidding me? I don't know if anybody else is feeling like that, but that's how it goes. And some of you may know my mom has Alzheimer's. And the blessing in that is I don't have to talk about the news with her because if I talk about the news, she completely forgets and doesn't stress or obsess over it. So how do we imagine something other than what we are seeing with our human eyes right now? How do we imagine and get out of what feels like a mess that is not of our own doing? a lot of what's happening in the world has been enabled by other people over whom we have no interaction, no ability to say, hey, excuse me, constituent here, I want you to do something different. And sometimes it gets really frustrating that we don't have that control or that ability to say, hey, wait a minute, I should have a say in what's happening here, and we don't. But we do. In utilizing our innate ability of imagination. Now, imagination is deemed to be in your third eye, and turquoise blue kind of thing. And I don't want to get too rabbit-holey here, but in case you're new or you're watching for the first time on YouTube or social media, all of the powers, innate abilities have a color, they have a place in the body, and they do have a disciple affiliated with them. And I could spend, and I know Pauline would shoot me if I did this. I could spend at least 3 hours every Sunday that I'm here just talking about each of the powers. No problem. And I wouldn't even complete it. I won't do that to you. I'll keep it real simple. But here's a definition for you. The ability to visualize and conceptualize what to demonstrate. The power behind visualization and seeing the good. And I think this is really important because it is so easy for me. I will not lay this on any of you or you in the Zoom or on social media. It is very easy for me to get caught up in stuff and to get caught up in what I am seeing, hearing, what my senses are telling me. And what's important is to move out of that into the imagination and being able to see things as you would like them, not necessarily how they are. Now, my intellect goes ape on me when I do that. Okay, so if your intellect goes ape, perfectly normal. Because your senses are saying, you know, this is hard, right? This is hard. To which I have learned to say to my intellect, yes, but these are atoms with lots of space. We just think that they're solid. Which always kind of freaks me out if I'm going in an underpass under a loaded freight train, because part of my mind immediately goes, those are all just atoms. And they're separated by space. And how is that not killing? Yeah. So I get that there can be a disconnect there. But what I want you to consider is that it's about undoing any thoughts that we have had before. So this is from, I think in the 70s or 80s. Lego was discovering that most of the purchases were for boys. I have very progressive parents. My sister and I had so much Lego, we didn't know what to do with it. And we didn't have sets. I think we had maybe 3 sets. And I remember one of them was a gas station. It was really cool. But we didn't have the sets. We just had blocks so that we could encourage our imagination. And so they actually put into the boxes a note that this was designed for boys and girls, and that the idea was to encourage their imagination, to encourage their play, not to say, well, you can only make this and that's all you can do with it. So the questions that I have for you is, where do we get these assumptions from? Is it in our DNA? Is there something just within us that automatically assumes that this is what is and there's no change? You know, we tend to go to our senses because that's how we experience this world. A family structure. If you grew up in a family where boys did this and girls did this, or men did this and women did this, you might have some difficulty imagining something other than what you experienced. I remember in grade 6 we had a young lady join our class, and she was on her 10th foster family. And I remember kind of sitting with that and going, how would she know what a normal family is? How could she possibly know what it is to be loved and appreciated and cherished if she's being bounced from house to house to house to house? Lost track of her in senior elementary. I've always wished her well, though, and any other child that's in that system. But if you've grown up in an abusive family, you might think that that's normal. And on the other extreme, I remember having a lady in one of my classes, and she had been born and raised in Unity. Her grandparents had been in Unity, so she was like second generation, born into it. And she said, it took me till grade 12 to realize I actually had to study. I thought if I just affirmed enough and said my prayers properly that I would pass, but it didn't work that way. Cultural norms, I think those are very much in our minds right now as we look around and see how things are happening, and you just want to say, people, can't we all get along? Can't we all just stand in the streets and do that jumpy Netherlands dance thing? You folks seen that? I'm obsessed with it, I admit. Very proud. Unity is headquartered in Kansas City. Kansas City is the smallest of all the World Cup stages for the World Cup. And the Netherlands closed off an area for a fan fest. And they estimate that they had 36,000 people in the streets dancing to music. And I'm taking that and saying, okay, let's all dance around the world. Let's just take that image of and work with it. But for some folks, that's not a cultural norm. You don't dance in public. You don't wear bright colors. And overcoming those and deciding whether or not to overcome them, or if there's something you want to keep. And you may feel pressured to change that way. And then, of course, schooling and socialization. And again, I could do 3 hours on that in spirituality, but I won't. But just the things that we grow up and being told that this is normal. Normal is a setting on your dryer, not to be used on people. But spiritually, none of those things matter. It is through the imagination that the formless takes form. Now, if you've heard me before, I've talked many times here, and I am so grateful. I was thinking about how often I come to London, and I started coming to London when you were on, I forget which came first, Exeter or Cherry Hill? Cherry Hill? Okay. I've been speaking here off and on since Cherry Hill, so yeah, you're my peeps. But it's about having that ability to let go of things to make space. What happens when the winter tires come off? Anybody else discover they have a whole bunch of stuff in their trunk that they will not need until the winter tires go back on? The bag of salt, the brush, the shovel, the extra set of clothes, the extra washer fluid, all of those things need to come out of my trunk because I need to create space for my lawn chair that goes with me everywhere. Well, yeah, no, it is in my car right now. It's not in the trunk, though. That's what threw me. Couldn't see it. I need space to be able to put things in. And so too with us, we need to let go of things to make space for new. So I release all that does not contribute to my highest good. Do those extra ketchup packs that I found in the bottom of my trunk after I came back from getting my tires changed count? I didn't get my tires changed until late April this year because last year I got them changed earlier, and literally we had one of the worst storms that day, and I drove home in like this much slush. So I learned, wait a little bit. Did I set those packets aside? No, I tossed them because they were no longer of use to me. I am sure if I had opened them, they would have fermented rather nicely and not been of good to my health. Drawing on our co-founder, Myrtle. Make up your mind that you are going to see God everywhere. Sometimes that's really hard. Sometimes if you have the news on, that is really hard. It is really hard to say, why did Venezuela get 3 earthquakes? And who knows how many shockwaves? Why did this happen in the Strait of Hormuz? Why did this happen wherever? And that's when I have to take a moment and say, okay, what can I see in the good in this? I can see that the Ham Radio Association, of which I am a sometimes member, sent a note out to all of us saying, please do not use this frequency. This is what we're using in Venezuela. We need to keep this frequency free around the world. Don't just think that because you're way away that it doesn't affect you. It does. Please stay off. I will gladly do that. I rejoice when I see someone being brought out who is still alive. Give thanks that some of my tax dollars are going to go to assist. Give thanks that I am in a position that I can donate to organizations that I know are good stewards of their resources and will be sending care packages. Seeing the oneness in all can be difficult. But for me, it's what keeps my sanity. Realizing that I have not chosen the path other people have. I've chosen a unique path for me, as you have all chosen unique paths for yourselves. And it is that mix. I know pizza day today. It's kind of like pizza, right? Okay, who likes anchovies on their pizza? Anybody? No? Our cat did, so when we still had our cat, my husband would make sure that there was at least a quarter of a pie with anchovies on it so he could pick them off and give them to the cat. But that was seeing God in the cat, right? There we are. So finding ways to bring together all of these different attributes and saying, in this is the oneness. Our co-founder, Charles, wrote something similar. You can cultivate the habit of seeing the good, the true, the bright side of every subject, thus keeping yourself positive and poised. When I was training to become a licensed Unity teacher, one of our exercises in one of the courses I had to take was to watch the news without the sound and no closed captions, just the images. And we were to pray as we watched. And we were reminded not to pray, oh, those poor people, but to say, where is God in the midst of this? Where is the oneness in the midst of this? Sometimes it's hard. I acknowledge that. But I think for me, that was a good training aspect to get me into that space. When we see God's presence in the smallest evidence of good, then our lives must change for the better. And even mental health workers will tell you, if you can shift your focus from the negative, from what a book in the 70s called toilet bowl syndrome, where everything is, ain't it awful? To focus our attention on what seeds can be planted. What is blooming that might be hidden behind a fence, but we don't realize that there is some growth happening. Sometimes it's the smallest thing that generates the largest change. So I invite you, this is your homework, you know I give you guys homework. Ask yourself some questions, and we'll take this into meditation as well. Can I see this differently? It may be that you can't, and that is perfectly fine. But in making the attempt, you may work loose something that allows you to see it with a bit less vehemence, with a bit less anger, with a bit less jealousy, with a bit less grief. Is there something for me to do based on what I see? We can't save the world ourselves. That's a oneness thing. We have to come into our oneness to do that. But is there something that is mine to do? Right now, I'm doing it. I'm bringing the message of unity to you and to Zoom and to social media. Is it mine to do? Yeah, this is. It's almost 8 years since I quit my job and started doing this type of work. And it's clear to me that this is mine. And then a final one. Because a lot of times we're like, sometimes we get into, well, it must be yours to do because somebody's got to do it. No, it may be that it is just mine to hold the space. And to be in that calm, in that love, in that peace, in that awareness of prosperity and healing and wholeness. And hold that space for others. And to be able to hold someone's hand or put my arm on their shoulder and say, it's okay. I have big shoulders and I don't care if I get wet. I want to share also another unity principle. This is our holiest of trinities. Mind, idea, expression. I am more than my thoughts. So we're using the words very specifically. And I've been trying to think of how to explain this. And I think I've got it. And I welcome your feedback. So mind, by mind, capital M in unity, we mean divine mind. So we mean that existence that is infinity by infinity by infinity through infinity time. And I liken it to the generating stations down at Niagara Falls. The water goes through those generators at a stage that you can't use that energy. It's too wide, it's too big, it's too powerful. You know, you touch it, you'll damage yourself. So too with divine ideas. Those are the ideas that you might sometimes feel like you've just got a glimpse of, or you sort of got this niggling idea in the back of your mind, but it hasn't come to fruition. And that's because in unity's understanding, divine ideas, divine mind is vibrating or existing at such a level that it's not in these three dimensions. It's outside these three dimensions. It's not something we can touch with our spirit, our sense hands, or see with our eyes, or hear with our ears. You have to step it down. This is what we do. We step it down. Idea is that space where you're in meditation, or you're just having a quiet time, or you're driving, and all of a sudden an idea pops in your head. There's a reason why there is still, to this day, some way for me to capture ideas on my bedside, whether it's a paper and pen or my phone with the vocal recorder on, because we don't always expect them. If you had told me before I quit my job that I was going to be on Zoom, I was going to be on Facebook, I was going to be speaking across Canada, as a high introvert, I would have laughed in your face. But that idea kept coming. And eventually, it got to the point where I worked with that idea in my mind, in my heart, and in my wisdom, and said, oh, okay, I'm not sure exactly what this is going to look like, but let me tap into it. Let me say yes. Let me explore that. And so the expression becomes whatever it is out here. And then we get that plug-in. We get that awareness. We suddenly have the tools that we need. We suddenly have the capacity to share, to record, to, if you're artistic, to create something artistic, to cook, to make cinnamon rolls, and to be open to what is going to come. The larger our vision of life, the more freedom we feel. As we can open up and imagine something greater than ourselves, we create that space. We've taken the stuff we don't need out of the trunk to create space for what we do need, or what we might need. The reason my late husband and I stopped flying to Unity Village was because we always, for the first few times, had to go to Walmart, buy an extra suitcase, and then pay extra for that suitcase to come home. And we figured it would just be cheaper to just drive the whole way and make sure that when we went, we either had the back seat empty or we had a portion of the trunk empty, or both. My imagination brings possibilities to life. Jim, I love how your imagination brings songs to life. I love how you're given a topic. Different times you've said that I had inspired, or my talk had inspired something, and I am so grateful to you, because I can't write music. I can read it fairly well, but I've never written a song. I've tried, and maybe that's the problem. I need to set back and not try so hard. But I can't imagine myself creating music, which is part of the problem. Because in not being able to imagine myself doing that, I'm putting a roadblock in my own way. So I've given you a whole bunch to think about. Let's take it into meditation. And let's start with our June affirmations. This photo was taken from the top of the Unity Tower, which is one of the oldest buildings on the grounds. And the building you're looking at was one of the first prefab buildings. And people came from all over the States to learn how to do prefabrication of office buildings, because folks hadn't done it before. Someone had the imagination. All right, let's just take a deep breath. And as is our tradition, I will read the affirmation once, pause, and then I'll ask you to join me together. Our affirmation for love. Every beat of my heart radiates the harmonizing power of divine love. And together, every beat of my heart radiates the harmonizing power of divine love. Our affirmation for healing. I breathe into the healing power of God, the renewing pulse in my body, mind, and spirit. Together, I breathe into the healing power of God, the renewing pulse in my body, mind, and spirit. Our affirmation for guidance. All wisdom is within. I turn within to know all I need to know in the silence. And together. All wisdom is within. I turn within to know all I need to know in the silence. Our affirmation for prosperity. Celebrating unexpected blessings, I live well today. And together. Celebrating unexpected blessings, I live well today. And finally, our affirmation for peace. One with God and one with all, I am a peaceful presence. And together, one with God and one with all. I am a peaceful presence. And now I'll just invite you to take a moment. If you want to take a picture of the screen or write it down. And take these thoughts with you this week. Can I see this differently? Is there something for me to do based on what I see? Is it mine to do? Or is it mine to simply hold a higher vision for all? And let's just pause in the silence for a few moments. And as we move into this week, let us remember, from divine mind comes divine ideas. And those divine ideas move into us and through us and as us in expression. And we go into the week knowing that I am more than my thoughts. And so it is. And so I let it be. Thank you for having me today. Amen.
Thank you so much, Wendy. We give thanks that it was your mission, your imagination that brought you to change your job from the government job that you had into one with unity. You are an amazing teacher, and you share such wisdom with us. And thank you for your commitment all these years to Unity of London. Yes. Well, it's time for me to call back up those rascals.
Come on, boys, you don't have all day. Well, I mentioned earlier that I think we're going to change the name of the group for when we come here to the Revival Rascals, and it's particularly appropriate for this tune. Dad, please don't applause because it'll just embarrass them. But I do want to acknowledge again Stan Smith, Lau Kernahan, and Rodney Perkins is joining me today, and they're doing it way below their regular rate. Now this is an old song. That's why I said maybe the Revival Rascals is appropriate. This is an old gospel revival tune, and that we kind of dug out and played around with. And you know that occasionally I will change words just a little bit, and particularly an old song. I tried not to do it to newer songs, but some of the old tunes, just to bring them like right in line with unity. And you'll know this tune right away. Well, I'll tell you, it's me, it's me, it's me, oh Lord. You know that song, Standing in the Need of Prayer. Well, I thought that Standing in the Need of Prayer maybe isn't quite on the mark for unity, so I changed it to Believing in the Power of Prayer. Doesn't that work? Believing in the power of prayer. So when we get there, many of you are going to know this, and we get to that line, you're going to want to sing the standing in. Now we're not standing in the need of anything. We're unity. We believe in the power of prayer. All right. Well, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. Well, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. Not my mother, Not my mother, but it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. Not my sister, not my brother, but it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power. Here we go. Well, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. You can stand up if you want. It's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. Well, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. Well, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. Not the butcher or the baker, but it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. Not the tinker or the tailor or the candlesticks maker, we believing in the power of prayer. Well, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. Well, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. There are days when it's hard to see the light, believing in the power of prayer. But I know I can find my way through the night if I believe in the power of prayer. Well, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. Well, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. Well, I raise my voice at unity, believing in the power of prayer. 'Cause this is my community, believing in the power of prayer. Oh, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. Well, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power. Now you. Well, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. Yeah, well, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. Well, it's me, oh Lord, believing in the power of prayer. I'm a believer. I'm a believer. Oh, you gotta believe.
Here we go. Here we go. Wow, that was really something. Yes. Okay. It's time for us to pass our blue bags to do our donations. Yes. Gathering tithes and donations and passing those blue bags. It's your sharing of your talents, your time, and your treasures with us at Unity of London that keeps us thriving as a community of spiritually uplifted individuals united in love and fellowship. We affirm prosperity and abundance for Unity of London and all spiritual communities in all forms and in all realms, body, mind, and spirit. Some of you who are new, you might see people just putting their hand over the bag. That's because there's many different ways to share with Unity of London. There's certainly you can put money in the bag there. You can put a check in the bag. And I just wanted to mention to you the offering bags are in the little slips in the back there. But we would like to make sure that you put on there the date and your full name, your address, and check off on there your option whether or not you put in there cash or a check or what have you. And many of us who just put our little hand over the bag, it's because we have done automatic withdrawals, or we've donated through Tithely or through MasterCard, that sort of thing. Let's now do our blessing of the contributions. Here we go. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. Okay, and I've got here our announcements. We always have lots of announcements. The Sacred Circle is a group that get together, who anybody's welcome to join in the Sacred Circle. We're going to talk about discussions about today's service, anything spiritually minded, and anything that's said in the circle stays in the circle. Today, because we're going to have pizza and principles, and I'll talk about that in a minute, that's going to happen in here. So the Sacred Circle is going to happen in what we would call the children's room. That's at the back of the fellowship room, up the stairs, and Chuck has already opened the door so that it's not as hot as it usually is in there. But yes, so Pizza and Principles, as I mentioned, is happening today, and it'll be happening in here. That's Pauline, our spiritual leader, is going to be leading that group, and we're enticing you. If you're new or would like to know more about Unity, we're enticing you by serving you pizza. It's great pizza, and it's for anybody who would like to know more about Unity of London. It's for new members. It's for old members who might have questions or what have you. And everybody is welcome to attend. Yes. Oh, yes. And I already talked about the completion of our little cards. Make sure that you put your full name on there. Yes, it's these little envelopes here. Yeah, because our counters that go in the other room after they do the collection need to be able to attribute who you are. Some people might just slip some money in there and put it in the bag. Well, we want to be able to attribute who gave what, so that at the end of the year we can give you a receipt for that for tax purposes. Yes, remember the old tax man? He wants to know that. Yeah. I think I shouldn't say that. Maybe he's not a man. I don't know. Yes, okay. And the first Friday of each month from 1:30 to 3 is our Unity, where you don't have to be a woman to come, but many times it's women who come, and they drop in for cookies and conversation, for games, and there's no pressure. You don't have to attend, and you don't have to bring anything. Yes, you can bring a friend. We would love that. But yeah. Okie dokie. Oh, and then there's our Unity Arts Expression Group. I attended this last time, and it was really very interesting. We have a lot of painters in our group here. It's ongoing for the third Friday from 1:30 to 3, and it will change each month. Maybe something different. I used to make jewelry. I was going to talk to Lindsay about maybe donating some supplies for that. And Wednesday night music nights. Oh my goodness. Our rascal Jim has every Wednesday night from 7:30 to 9. Jim presents a group of professional performers. And this week it's going to be Paul Mills, Dan Mailer, Dan and Marianne Rutledge. And it's because of Canada Day coming up, it's going to be Canada-themed songs. And you won't miss the fireworks, because that won't happen until dark. So you come on out and then go and watch the fireworks. And it's amazing that these concerts that happen every Wednesday night are only $10. Where can you go to hear professional musicians in a concert for $10? And you can get advance tickets by emailing Jim at jimchapman@rogers.com, or just pay the $10 at the door. As it says here, what a deal. Oh my goodness, yes. Please repeat with me. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yea, God. Now, before we go into our song, I wanted to ask Lorraine to come up and speak to us about the parking lot. And the winner gets to clean. Here she comes.
I guess I didn't turn me on. I have good news and bad news. The good news is our parking lot is going to be refinished, repaired, and coated. But the bad news is it's July 3rd, and I apologize in advance to Pauline because I know we have people coming, but they will have to use the street parking this week or on the train track side. So that is, of course, provided that there's no rain, in which case we get to do it all over again. I have been in contact with the linen supply people, and they know all about it. And so there will be pylons probably going up Thursday night so that nobody will be parking on Friday.
There we go. There we go. Now it's time for our peace song. We gather around in a circle to sing our peace song. Thank you all. Oh, I didn't mean to shout in there. Let's not rush off. Let's let anybody who would like to say anything to our folks online or to certainly